What's up, everybody? It's Wednesday, my dudes. Today we're going to be talking about Max Holloway versus Yair Rodriguez, which is a really fun fight on a card where the booking is a little weird, whereas the prelims are very exciting. Not that the main card's not exciting. The prelims are just more exciting.
Yeah.
At least in our opinion, whatever that means to you. One of the opening fights is going to be Mark Diakiese fighting Rothwell Alvarez. That'll be a fun fight just because Mark always makes it a fun fight. Dude's very athletic, very acrobatic. Another fight to look out for, anyway, to look out for is Sean Woodson. And then Miguel Baeza is fighting Chaos Williams. Those guys throw down pretty hard.
Yeah.
That'll be a really fun fight to watch on the prelims.
You know what I was thinking right now, though, is what they probably did is I wonder if the UFC is going to start going in this route of really exciting fights start off the main card and then have just some filler, not really fillers, but like fights in between. And then, pretty much filler fights to get everybody kind of hyped up watching the card. And then, to get everybody hyped up to keep watching the card because the main fight is, of course, Max Holloway versus Yair Rodriguez, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, these guys got to fight. These people have to fight. If they don't fight, they're not gonna. If these fights don't happen, we don't get to see any of these people grow.
Yeah.
So we do have to see these fights. These fights are important to their careers.
Very.
But with the main event of the prelims is Thiago Moises and Joel Alvarez. We'll see on that one.
You just saw me pick my nose, didn't you?
No.
No? Oh, I shouldn't have said anything.
Great. Anyway, Song Yadong and Julio Arce are going to open up the main card. That should be a pretty good one.
Yeah.
I think that could be fight of the night if it weren't for the main event.
Yeah, for sure. This is a really, really fun card. Julio Arce goes out there and he throws, he's known most of his fights. He has 5 submission wins, 5 knockout wins, I think 3 decisions. Really, really fun fighter to watch as well. But also, same thing, Song Yadong. He is one of the dark horses in the bantamweight division. No, he doesn't really get talked about so much. Of course, whenever he fights, they talk about how good he is, but he's not familiar to the American fans' face, you know. And
he's fought in China for a really long time, where he did have a lot of finishes in his career early on.
Yeah.
But ever since he's come to the UFC, he's had trouble getting those finishes.
Right.
And it's just been hard adjusting, but you got to think now he is adjusted. And fighting someone like Julio Arce, I think that's going to be a really good fight. I think that one isn't going to be easy for either guy, but it's definitely going to make for a pretty fun fight to watch.
And I know that Song Yadong, he's 1-1 in his last 2, but it's also against Kyler Phillips, who is kind of like an up-and-coming dog out of the bantamweight division. But it's I don't know. I don't think Kyler Phillips has fell off because he only really lost once in the UFC that I can recall. His last fight to Julian Paiva.
Yeah, and the same could be said for the guy that Song beat, which was Casey Kinney.
Yeah.
He had just beaten Dominic Cruz, and I'm sorry, lost to Dominic Cruz. He had just lost to Dominic Cruz. I was like, what? Yeah, they fought. He had just lost to Dominic Cruz, so he was a guy that was expected to be really good.
Yeah.
Just kind of hadn't made it out there yet.
He came up with Adrian Yanez.
That's cool.
Through Legacy. I think that's really dope, though. It's crazy that those two never crossed paths when you look at their careers in the LFA. And those two never fought each other that I can recall. I think at one point they were set to, and one of them, I think Casey got called up to the UFC.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think back then, Adrian wins just with speed alone.
I think now he still wins though.
But I was gonna say, but now it's even more so.
Yeah. Oh,
that he wins.
I should let you finish your sentence.
Sorry. I'll just
shut up.
leave.
Finally, no, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, so that's Song Yadong and Julio Arce. Really good fight, very exciting. And then there was a fight. Roman Dolidze was set to fight Kyle Dawkins, and that fight got taken off the card. I don't know if they're going to replace it or not, or if they took it off and just are trying to find a replacement.
Yeah.
But hopefully it gets replaced.
There are some announced bouts though that aren't on the official card yet. Danilo Marquez versus Jalton Almeida. It's a light heavyweight fight, and then also they're trying to get Lando Venata on the card. They haven't announced who they want him to fight yet. And if Lando Venata is, I hope they put him on the main card. He's always an exciting fighter to watch, and now he's at featherweight. He talks about how great he's feeling at featherweight. We've only seen him fight one time, but he looked really good though. I can't remember who he fought, but he fought some Johnny Sins looking dude. I don't know, so something to look out for.
But that takes us to Felicia Spencer and Leah Letson. That fight, a little weird of a matchup there, like we were talking about earlier. Felicia Spencer is a veteran. She's very good. She's taking on Leah Letson, who has a lot to prove in this fight. That's a big fight to take. She's I'm blanking on what her record is, but she's got her work cut out for her. Yeah. Like I said, I feel like that's kind of a bad matchup for her. Felicia Spencer is pretty tough and very strong and durable. So I feel like she just takes this fight wherever she wants, up against Cage or on the ground, and wins it. I think I have her picked by submission.
Okay. I don't know much about Leah Letson. I've never honestly even really heard of her. So hopefully she gives us a reason why to know her name after Saturday.
Yeah, prove a point.
Yeah.
And then the co-main event is Ben Rothwell and Marcos Rogerio de Lima. That fight could be exciting. I feel like it's going to actually be up to Marcos for that fight to be exciting. Ben Rothwell knows how to control his fights up until he wins. He smothers people. If he doesn't have the edge in striking, he smothers people until he finishes them. And I think that he's losing that edge because he's not nearly as fast as these guys that are coming up now. And Marcos is one of those guys. He's very good. He's in fantastic shape. He's 36, but it doesn't look like it. So I think this fight poses some problems for Ben Rothwell. Also, if Ben Rothwell tries to tie up with him and control him, I don't think that works. Right. De Lima was actually able to beat Maurice Green. He was that fight.
Yeah. That fight sucked. Remember we sat here and hyped up that fucking fight? Like it was going to be such a good throwdown and everything.
Because you would think it would be.
Yeah, and it was absolute dog shit. The most exciting part was between rounds 2 and 3. That was it. I don't know.
And again, though, that came from a lot of initiation of grappling from both guys, but a lot from Green, and then Green just couldn't finish it, and Lima ended up in the better positioning.
Yeah. Should have got stood up a lot. That was a really, scraping the eyes, shit like that.
But so I don't think Ben Rothwell does that, so I think this actually makes for a really good fight for Lima.
Yeah.
I give it to him by knockout.
I give it to him too because the thing is Ben Rothwell, he's never really been knocked out cold, and he's had his chin cracked, but never in a serious manner. And but I don't know. I think Ben Rothwell gasses out early. Lima was able to keep a pretty good pace against, even though it was a very boring fight where he's on top the most of the fight, and didn't really do anything with it. Lima was able to keep a good pace against Maurice Green, and he's also a taller fighter. But Ben Rothwell's best bet will be to go ahead and take it straight to the ground, which I don't think he's going to be able to. I think Maurice Green tried to do that and he wasn't able to do it.
Exactly.
Also, I don't know. I think Ben Rothwell just tires out and it's done by the second.
Because he throws everything so heavily.
Yeah.
Even his jabs are very flat-footed, heavy-thrown jabs. So whenever he tries to get going, he thinks he has something. If it doesn't pay off, all you got to do is get up.
Yeah.
And stand your ground, and you're going to beat him probably. And this is for a heavyweight fighter, not, me. Zach, you couldn't do it. Well, I'm not a heavyweight UFC fighter, so I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
I think if Ben Rothwell and Chris Barnett rematched, Chris Barnett wins.
Yeah, and that shows right there as well. Those dudes, those dudes right there, that's what I'm saying is Ben Rothwell doesn't have very good conditioning. Is he was just as exhausted as Chris Barnett was in that fight, and that fight kind of sucked too.
Yeah,
even though it was a finish.
is Chris Barnett's UFC debut.
Yeah.
He's a very small heavyweight fighting one of the biggest heavyweights.
Yeah.
I don't blame him at all for it not going his way.
Yeah.
Especially seeing that last fight, the knockout of Gian Vellante. Ow.
Sorry.
So I don't think Ben Rothwell wins this fight. And that's the co-main event.
But yeah, on to what you're here for. Max Holloway, probably arguably the best featherweight in the world right now, taking on Yair.
It's weird to hear you say that with how much you've loved on Alexander Volkanovski lately.
Hey, dude. Well, Max Holloway's not champion, so what's it called? We just lost some viewers on that one. But I don't know. I'm a big fan of Max Holloway and Yair Rodriguez. He's not active enough for me to be like, yeah, no, you're legit. You know. I don't know. I think this is gonna be a very. I don't want to say fully one-sided, but it's gonna be a definitive one for Max Holloway.
Yeah.
Straight to the point. Yeah.
I really like Max Holloway. I don't understand why anyone on the planet wouldn't be a fan of him. And as big of a fan of him as I am, I do feel like if Yair Rodriguez was more active, and that's, not like he just wasn't taking fights. There were issues here and there.
Yeah.
But I think I'd be more of a fan of his than I am Max Holloway, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And that's not to say it's because I'm not a big fan of Max Holloway. I'm a huge fan. But Yair Rodriguez is freaking fun to watch.
Yeah.
When he's not running away to Mexico and hiding from USADA.
Or inciting riots after poking somebody in the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, don't forget about that. And
so, but, I mean, his knockouts are insane. You look at the one against Korean Zombie. We were talking about this earlier. So, his knockout against Korean Zombie had 1 second left. They just started throwing down. He ducks under one of Zombie's punches and then throws that weird upward arsing elbow.
Yeah.
Backwards, whatever you want to call that, and knocked Korean Zombie out cold.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't have an opening, he will create one.
Yeah.
And I think stylistically, Max Holloway has a lot of openings, but the reason that he's fine with it is because a lot of these guys he's able to do that with they're very traditional style striking.
Yeah.
You cannot do that against Yair.
No.
You can't do that. And Max Holloway probably knows that. I'm not thinking he doesn't know that, but I do think that he gets caught. And I think it'll be very interesting to see what happens if Yair Rodriguez can hurt Max Holloway early on and do something about it.
How is Yair Rodriguez number 3 featherweight in the world right now?
I don't know.
God honest question. I'm not trying to be a dick about it.
My problem with the rankings. I don't like the rankings at all because so many guys who are just not active are so highly ranked. I don't. He's one of them. I don't understand it at all.
I know he has a win over Chen Sung Jung, in a fight that he was losing pretty badly, and so that would technically you got to put him above him, I guess, since he did knock him out.
Yeah.
But his last win was to Jeremy Stevens back in 2019. He's been on over a 2-year layoff.
Yeah.
Coming in fighting a Max Holloway who is inspiring and put on probably his best performance ever against Calvin Kattar. Yair's got a long night if he doesn't come in ready.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest question is with that long of a layoff, is Yair going to come in the shape that we've seen him in before, or is he going to come in with rust and be a little slow like we saw with Ali Quinta? Is he going to come in just offbeat and not ready for something like Max Holloway? Because that could easily be it. If he does come in like that, then absolutely definitive win for Max Holloway. I just think that once Yair gets back into step, he can knock anybody out.
Yeah.
Even the precious Volkanovski.
It can happen.
The stuff that Yair throws just impresses me.
Yeah.
And when it lands, it puts people out.
I mean, granted, he's only lost one time in the UFC, and that was to Frank Edgar. He's made people that are supposed to be really tough fighters look not so tough. He was able to pull a definitive win over Jeremy Stevens, even playing into Jeremy Stevens' game.
Yeah.
He was able to get that really crazy ass knockout against Chen Sung Jung. He was also able to knock out Andre Philly, and even though that doesn't seem like that's that big of a deal, that's a big of a deal.
Yeah,
because
go look at Andre Philly's record.
Yeah,
doesn't happen often.
No, I
if
think
at all.
I really want to say that might be his only one like actual knockout, like considering doctor stoppages and stuff like that.
But it does start to get interesting when you look back at Max Holloway's fight against Ricardo Lamas, where they were just like, nope, let's just start throwing. Because I guarantee you, Yair Rodriguez is all about that.
Yeah.
So when 10 seconds left on the clock, does Max Holloway invite Yair Rodriguez to the middle of the cage to throw down? Because if he does, I don't think he wins that.
Yeah, that was also his only time being knocked out, Andre Philly. So
it was?
Yeah. He's also, I don't know, he's been calling some crazy shit. Like, I was going through his record right now. He's been submitted by a flying triangle. And I don't know, that must suck. Like, you get submitted by a flying triangle and also a flying kick to your face, you know?
Yeah.
Like, damn.
But yeah, so if Max Holloway invites Yair Rodriguez to the middle of the cage to just throw down like that, like he did with Ricardo Lamas, I don't think he wins that. I think he gets knocked out like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's something to think about too. Is like this guy probably is Yair probably he also is the same height as him considering. So he's not having to punch up like how Alexander Volkanovski is, because Volkanovski packs a mean punch. And I really do feel like he busted up Brian Taker with heavier shots than Max Holloway did. And so that power is going to be prevalent there. And it's just with Max Holloway, though, he has such a sixth sense when it comes to fighting.
Yeah.
He sees things, and the thing is Yair Rodriguez going to be as unorthodox as he normally is against other fighters? You know, we saw what happened whenever he fought a very technical fighter in Chan Sung Jung, and he was losing a majority of that fight, you know? And so that poses the question, just like, what is Max Holloway going to have for Yair? It's what's Yair going to do that's going to throw Max Holloway off?
Yeah, because the idea is that Max Holloway is going to show up.
Yeah.
And until he feels he's definitely won the fight, I don't see him doing anything like what he had been doing, where he talks to the crowd or talks to Dana, or teaches his opponent how to block a shot. I don't see him doing any of that with Yair. It's too dangerous. Even whenever he's up on the cards, I don't see him doing that.
Yeah, and I can tell you, like, one person that's definitely not looking past Yair Rodriguez, and that's Max Holloway.
Yeah,
you know,
well, he better not. Because if he does not show up and stay focused, Yair's going to catch you. That's what he does. So if we had to call it, I'm
going Max by decision.
Max. Then just to make it interesting, Yair Rodriguez by knockout. I'll say like a third or fourth round knockout.
It can happen. Max gets, like you said, Max gets caught a lot. He does, honestly. You go back and watch.
He takes a lot of hits.
Go back and watch his Calvin Kattar fight when he was fucking him up. He was getting hit with a lot of heavy shots.
He rolls them off really well.
Yeah.
But he does get hit.
Yeah.
And again, guys, the difference between Calvin Kattar striking, Max Holloway striking, and Yair Rodriguez striking is that those guys throw a lot of punches. They're very volume punchers, just like the Diaz brothers. They throw a lot of punches in volumes, but they're not trying to knock you out with them.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, they're trying to hurt you and set up a big punch, but Yair, everything he throws can knock you out.
Yeah.
So it's very different styles of striking, but it makes for what's probably going to be fight of the night.
For sure.
And could possibly rival Gagey and Chandler.
That's a bold-ass statement.
It is.
Yep.
But look at who we're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, performance of the year, yeah, for sure.
I mean, well, tell me I'm wrong that it doesn't have the potential to be better than Gagey and Chandler, or at least rival it. Think about when you saw Max Holloway and Calvin Kattar's fight.
And I was like, that Max Holloway is good.
That was freaking crazy. Now imagine him fighting someone who could knock him out at any moment.
Okay, you got a point.
It's very exciting. Because Max Holloway's not going to be one of the guys to take it slow and fight smart and do the point fight thing. He's not going to do that.
Yeah. There's a fire going on in my stomach right now.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel it like boiling right now. If you live anywhere near Webster, Texas, check out the Cook Shack. The Cook Shack. It is absolutely It's so good. Like I really enjoy it.
If you like a chicken sandwich, definitely check them out.
But
Texas
make it
Heat.
spicy. It's fucking yeah.
Medium's good.
Yeah.
Texas Heat is fantastic, but very hot.
Fuck that. That shit was too hot, dude.
It's pretty hot. I love spicy food, but man, it's hot.
Yeah.
And then they have the AMF, which I haven't tried. Don't know that I will.
You also have to sign a waiver to eat that one.
Do you? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
It's 2.8 million Scoville. But
I don't care what those numbers mean.
Yeah.
I never remember.
Just hot as fuck. That's pretty much it.
Something's in the millions. That sounds like a lot. I don't know.
Sounds like you can't even enjoy it. Like,
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't get it. Like, I like spicy, but I don't just carry ghost peppers in my pocket.
There's motherfuckers that do that. I've seen it. Not in person, but on the internet. So I don't know how serious I can take it.
Well, yeah, let us know your thoughts on this upcoming card. Let us know if there's anything you want us to talk about. You want us to talk about NASCAR? Ooh. Or WWE? Oh.
Or I can't think of anything else exciting.
Should Colin Kaepernick be back in the NFL?
Was he wrong for the knee? You know, just keep things interesting.
Yeah, sure. Let us know.